and we've got some pretty good information to come at you with. So first, we're going to go ahead and start with 9/11. We're going to start with the real reason it happened, according to our sources. And a lot of you guys, everybody wants to talk about on September 11th, and since they were 2 years old, 2 and 7, they messaged me today. They said, "Where were you at?" I said, "Well," I said, "I was a senior driving to high school, and my dad had a little blue Geo Metro that he gave me. I was 18 years old, my senior year of high school in 2002, but it was the year 2001, so it's 2001, 2002, and it was September 11th, and I was listening to WLW, 700 AM radio station out of Cincinnati, and even though I lived in Indiana, they have good reception, and I went around the curve, and that's when the first plane hit, and I was almost to high school, and I thought real weird about that right then. I said, this seems weird. I said, this doesn't seem like a normal occurrence. Well, we were doing I-STEP testing. That's Indiana State something achievement standards. I don't know what it stands for, but I didn't have to take it that year because I did it when I was a junior, so we got to watch it on TV, and that's when the second plane flew into the World Trade Center, and I knew right then and there something was going on, but they came out and said it was terrorism and that the planes were hijacked and stuff like that, and then you had the movie United 93 that came out where the people hijacked the plane, and it went down in a grassy knoll in Pennsylvania, which it was a great movie. It was very well put together. I loved watching it, but our sources regarding the Hugh Squire story, that the real reason it happened was to destroy his patents, which were in building number 7. And you had the Twin Towers, they went down, and then there was that building in the back. Well, that was building number 7, I do believe, and that's the one that had all his patents in it. So they destroyed that building, and you could see it on CNN, reported the news, and they talked about the building going down before it even happened, which was crazy. So you knew it was a lie. And then when you pulled the different dollar bills up, the 1, the 20, the 5, the 10, the 20, and the 50, it's the story about the towers going down in smoke when you fold them a certain way, and you can see that happening. So it's just crazy that there's all this going on right there. And you also had a lot of stuff talked about in previous books, and we talked about that at length with when President Trump was elected, that the last president, written in the year 1800 by Ingersoll Rand, talked about a man by the name of Don Trump who would be elected president. He had a son named Barron who would go to Russia after the attacks in New York City and the riots and everything. And it's a real book. It was written. Well, there's another book written about the New World Order, and it was actually called The New World Order, and it was written in, I believe it was 1991, if I'm thinking right. Could have been the late 80s. I have to go back and check the original post on that, but it's CV stuff. I can't come out and really say it on this channel, but all that stuff, it talked about what would happen to that with Lennox. And there's another book that I'm going to be talking to you guys about that our source Bow and Arrow just talked about today. And I've already forgotten the name of it, but I'll talk about that on a video here coming at you here. And that talks about another event that's going to be happening in the future here. So I'll write that in the description. Check the description on this video for the name. There's a book and a movie, and it's about events. It's called 7 Days of May, I think, and I can't remember the author, but I'll put it on there. And it's about something that's going to happen. So we look for something to happen in 7 days next May, possibly, right before the election, right? That's when all this stuff happens. That's when it happened last time, was right before the election. So we're looking for another viral type event, something to come out there. So just be prepared, and we'll get you information on that book. So the real reason, though, like for 9/11 and all those people that lost their lives in the World Trade Center, was really an attack on Hugh Squire and the cover-up of his patents for his band called The Bottom Line. So we'll have more on that later, but we want to shift gears here to the Gretchen Fleming story. So I reported on our last video that there was a body found at McDonough Park, and really we jumped. I don't want to say we jumped the gun. We're just trying to put stuff out there to get the community working together. That's what we're doing. Well, we've got a whole cold case team assembled to find this young woman, and she's been gone since December 4th of last year. Well, there wasn't actually a body found at McDonough Park, so the Vienna Police Department came out, and in the cover picture, the thumbnail for this video, you see that they say, well, there was a bloody shirt and a bloody sock found out there on one of the hiking trails, right past the steps that zigzag out at McDonough Park. And for you guys who aren't local to this area here in Parkersburg and Vienna, West Virginia, right on the other side of the Ohio River, McDonough Park, it's up north. It's basically in Vienna. It's off Rosemar Road and North Hills, and there's wooden steps that kind of zigzag on one of the hiking trails, and right down below that is where the bloody shirt and the sock was found. Well, they said that there are surveillance cameras out there. I didn't realize there were surveillance cameras, so they've pinpointed how the shirt and the sock probably got there. At least they think they know. And my guess is it was probably a homeless person or a drug addict or something. I don't know. But to the best of our knowledge, it has nothing to do with the cover-up of the disappearance of this young woman. So there is a pond out there, and it kind of is a two-segmented pond. So what we want to do is we want to search that area as well. And we really need a canoe with some kind of sonar equipment. Or what we might do is get a long stick and tie a camera, an underwater camera, to that stick and search down there and see what happens to be sitting down at the bottom of that murky pond down there. It's just one of the many places that we still want to search. Now, one of the places we wanted to search, and this is where we have the best gut feeling where she could be, is a factory that produces magnesium. Magnesium is made for military operations, military grade weapons. And if magnesium happens to get in the wrong hands, it could be used to assemble a weapon. So basically, that whole site, and it's on the other side of the Ohio River, so it's in the state of Ohio. And again, it's a factory called Pyramid. And basically, it's all blocked off. There's video footage out there. You'd get a trespassing charge. You can't enter those grounds without basically getting caught. So that kind of puts our plans aside on that location. And the reason we felt so strongly about that location is what we had reported before with Jeff Jarvis, and there's another guy, I can't remember his name right now, but we got pictures of Jeff Jarvis, and he's a rather scary looking individual. Apparently this was Gretchen's good friend. It was family, it was a friend of hers, and she was sleeping on his. But basically, I'm not ruling him out. He was ruled out by the police twice, but for you guys who have been following the case, you know the police they've thrown this case aside. They don't want you to know that, but they have. They've given it to other external agencies, and we don't even know what groups those are. But basically, that's all we've heard. And of course, some of the women waited with bated breath, and they're just hoping that something comes back from labs on Preston Pierce's vehicle, the black Nissan Rogue, and it hasn't happened now. It's not ever going to happen. But you know, if there are answers, they're going to come from the community. And the important part of this video is we're telling you guys we're joining forces with an independent woman who's done as much searching on this case as what we have. And without mentioning her name, just know that our cold case team is going to get together with her tonight. For information, we're going to really get down and chisel down to the bottom of this case. And just because the police are no longer working on it, and I question how much work they've really put into it. Now, I know the family was saying that they've done a lot, and they have. I'm not saying they haven't. But I was pretty well right all along that there came a stopping point to it pretty quick. So it is what it is. We're going to do what we can. And without running anybody through the mud, we're just going to try to find this girl. Dead or alive. We're going to put all our clues together in a basket. We're going to go from there. So stay tuned for more information. And I'm going to get you the name of that book and movie in the description. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate you guys. We'll have much more information coming out on this edition of Porch Talk and future editions. Godspeed, everybody.